the darkness, at the end of the tunnel, you hear something moving, something breathing, something slimy moving through the corridor towards you. Make a sanity roll. Hey, everybody. I knocked that over. I didn't mean to do that. Hey, everybody. It's me, Scott, your patron here at Heroic Studios. Patreon. How's it going? Hey. What was that all about? You might ask yourself. Like, why was he being weird? Because today I am talking about the sci-fi horror RPG Mothership. Anyway, talking about Mothership today. Mostly because I did my little 5th Tuesday poll. What do you guys want to see? And Mothership was on there. And because it's Zine Quest right now, and I'm over at Zine Quest trying to hawk beta red out to people at Kickstarter. It's Zine Quest over Kickstarter, and Mothership is taking it by storm this year. Last year was Troika, I've been told. I didn't really pay attention to it much last year. I mean, I bought some things, but last year was Troika that had tons of modules. This year it's Mothership. Everybody wants to get their hands on some Mothership modules. To be honest, where to go? Oh, jeezy crazies. Just put it over here too. This one, I believe I got this one. This one, Dead Planet, I think I got last year. No. Last year at Zine Quest, I got Gradient Descent, and Primeval. Those are the ones I got last year, which were like this one. And Pound of Flesh may have been last year. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This year, I've backed 4 or 5 Mothership modules and or settings. So Gordonek, made by my good friend Jeremy, is a zine this year at Zine Quest, and I absolutely back that. I've been wanting to back that since I first heard about it. I have playtested. I mean, his initial version I wasn't entirely behind, but then when it became when he switched it to Mothership as its base, I absolutely fell in love with his setting. It's basically the 1979 movie Warriors set on Arrakis, the planet of Dune, and instead of spice that everyone's fighting over, they're fighting over psychosine, which is like a gasoline that literally powers mechs, but is also the planet's blood. And so the planet has an immunity system response by sending giant monsters to kill everyone, and everyone lives in a giant city and, like I said, are gang members trying to get home. So it's a pretty cool setting like that. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that there are alien races that you can play. It's not just humans. There's also Satiri and Guri and all kinds of other stuff. So you could be a lizard person or a short guy who can control things with his mind, or a tall, buff dude with 4 arms. It's pretty cool. But that's just Gordonek, and I could go on for days about Gordonek, and I may do another video on Gordonek when I finally have it in my hands. But for right now, let's talk about Tuesday Night Games' Mothership, a sci-fi horror RPG. In a nutshell, this game is essentially like the Cthulhu in space version of RPGs. It's essentially a game that was that they wanted that Tuesday Night Games made to essentially play Alien, the movie Alien, as an RPG without any of the legal rights or abilities to do Alien. That's basically what the intent kind of is behind this. I mean, I don't know if they would specifically say that, or if you ever asked them, they would say that, but that's basically what happens. There are character types. So the character types are the 4 jobs that you can do are essentially Teamster, like Ripley, and they actually reference that. If you wanted to be Ripley from Alien, to choose Teamster, right? Ripley, so there's Teamsters, then there's scientists, which are basically your smart peoples. There are androids, much like in the Alien films, where there's always an android doctor or scientist or something person who turns out to be an android, and a marine, just like the second Alien movie. So those are the 4 types of characters you can be. And that's it. That's the 4, and that basically determines all of your other things. Your saves are predetermined based on the job you take. The skills that you automatically start with are predetermined based on the class, the job that you try to take. They're called classes, right? But it's essentially a D100 game. that uses percentile dice for everything, and it's a roll under game, much like Maximum Apocalypse or like Call of Cthulhu, where you're essentially trying to do stuff in space. And the general premise is that you are a person on a ship, a mothership, or something, and you've got a job. And either you're being sent down to go look at a planet, or you're being sent to a satellite, or you're just mining an asteroid, or something, doing your normal job. When things go awry, and like an evil AI takes over the ship, or an alien creature comes out of the rock that you're mining, or a derelict vessel floats past and your captain wants you to go check it out, and when you go there everyone's zombies, that kind of stuff, like weird space horror stuff. That's what you're gonna do, and the game is pretty simplistic in the rules. Like, essentially, like I said, you're gonna roll a d100, and it's going to be under a stat. So you have 4 stats in this game. There's strength, speed, intellect, and combat. Those are determined when you make your character by rolling down the line, just like you would with old school character creation for like old school D&D. You're going to roll a 60-10. This because, like I said, this is a percentile game. So you're going to roll 60-10 for your strength, 60-10 for your speed, 60-10 for your intellect, 60-10 for your combat, and it's going to give you a number. Probably around 30, because that's how the average would work. And then you're going to, you're going to have your class, which is going to give you a little bit of bonus. I think it's like +5 to like 2 stats or whatever. So that'll give you a little bit of a bonus. And then you have your skills. And the skills are they're still just the roll under whatever. They're all based in those same stats. It's just like whatever it's going to be, like the moderator or the warden, as they call it, will determine which stat it's based off of, based on whatever's going on. There's not like a predetermined thing like in Maximum Apocalypse where it's like a tree where it specifically comes off of one particular stat. This is just like you're going to use your, a blade. It's going to be, to kill a man. It's going to be combat, but if you're trying to use that blade to pry something open, well, now it's strength, right? That kind of thing. And then you have your skills. They're essentially 3 categories of skills. They're the trained skills, the expert skills, and the master skills. You have to kind of go in order, so you can't jump from like being like trained in like not having any linguistical training to suddenly being able to like speak 80 languages, right? Like that does not work. But you have to sort of go in order. So you would choose something like you choose biology, and then later you would bump that. You would get genetics or something, and then later you would become like a xenobiologist. That would be a trained skill, a mastered skill, or a trained skill, an expert skill, and a mastered skill, so that you can do things in space. And each of those skills will give you a plus percentage to that number. So like I said, you're going to roll under. That's that. So let's say I'm going to try to spacewalk. Right, spacewalk is a 0G thing. So if I have the skill, the trained skill 0G, then when I go out of the ship and I've got to like make a speed roll to move across the ship, then I will get the +10 because I'm trained in 0G. If I am not trained in 0G, then I'm just rolling under the speed number. But I get, in this case, it's speed +10 because I have 0G training, because I'm a Teamster and I automatically get 0G training, right? So that's how that goes. So the game is pretty simplistic, but it focuses on like the horror storytelling. So you have like 4 saves, sanity, fear, body, and armor. The saves are used, like armor saves are used for when you're attacked by stuff and it's going to do damage to you, and you're going to try to not take that damage, right? And so if you save with your armor save, you don't take the damage, or you take half damage or something. Body saves are things like poisons and gases and stuff that's trying to get inside your body and affect your body. Fear is like mind stuff, things that are affecting your mind. It's also used for surprise in combat. So like if you fail your fear save, when someone jumps out at you, you're surprised, right? And then you have sanity rolls, which are basically the things like in Call of Cthulhu, where you find a derelict vessel, and as you get closer to it, you realize that it's an exact replica of your vessel. And in fact, it's even named the same. That's strange. And then you go get on board and you find that it is your vessel, but like, 100 years in the future. And there's a bunch of dead bodies floating around. And all of them are you guys. Make a sanity roll to see if you don't, gain some stress from that. So that kind of thing. And then it uses the system of stress that I mentioned before, where when you fail saves, or when you like the sanity stuff that I just mentioned, you gain these stress points. And at some point, whenever appropriate, especially like if you fail a sanity roll or critically fail a sanity roll, you will go ahead and try to roll under. You're going to try to make a 2d10 roll, so it's not a percentile in this case, to try to get over whatever your stress number is. If you get under, then you have a panic, and you panic and you do something crazy. And if you panic, depending on what your job is, that like there's different kinds of effects. Like if you panic when you're a teamster, you can re-roll the panic effect if you don't like it, and hopefully get a better one. But if you're a Marine and you panic, everyone around you has to make a fear save because you go crazy. And you're supposed to be the protector, so it goes weird. And like the same thing happens if like a scientist fails a sanity save, everyone gains a stress just automatically because the smart person is freaking the hell out, right? So it's that kind of game. It's really fun if you have the right kind of people. It's kind of terrible if you don't have the right kind of people. Like if you have people that don't take it seriously and don't understand that the tone of the game is supposed to be you're all gonna die. And it's basically the first Aliens movie, and like if you're lucky enough to be Ripley and make it out of the movie, well, great. But you're probably gonna be more like, I don't know, the cat or something, right? The first guy that you're gonna be what is his name? John Hurt, right? The guy who's the chest busts open and the alien comes out. That's probably who you're gonna be. So you should probably just deal with it and play the game properly with the kind of tone where you're probably gonna die. And so that's the kind of game that it is. It is cool, though. It's like quickly set up, and like I said, the character sheet just sort of walks you through the rules already. Like the character sheet is like pre-designed. This is the character sheet. It's 2-pager, and it's sort of pre-designed to like help you understand what the hell you're supposed to be doing. Like you go, so first you do your stats, and then you choose your class, your job, and it like already tells you what you get for like your stress and panic stuff, and it already like logs in. You go over here and you just check the box, and you basically have predetermined saves. They're already there. And then there's some variation on that. Like if you have like armor, for example, then your armor save will go up because by like +10 or +5 or plus whatever your armor is. But then you have it, but then it also has your skills and stuff, and it already tells you that it's a +10. You can't see it, it's not focusing, but +10, +15, etc. So it's a well-designed, quick little game that you can play. You can constantly play it because you do have like experience. Like you don't have all the skills when you start off. You start off with a few of them, and then you can gain XP. The basically, and here's how it is: you start off as a level 0, like whatever the base things are. Right, you're a 0 level character essentially in this game, and it goes up to level 10. And if you survive, if your character manages to Ripley out of the first session, and you manage to survive on to the second session, you automatically gain 10 experience points, and you level up, which gives you some skill points to use, or depends on like the game master, but you basically get to, I think you actually get to do all 3 of these. You improve your stats by 1 stat by 5 and 1 by 3. You improve 1 save by 4. Or you improve 2 saves, by 4. Then you gain a resolve point, which you can use for different things. You remove a phobia or fear or something, and you heal all of your stress. And then you get some skill points where like you essentially get like I think you get 2 or 3 skill points. It depends. In Jeremy's game, I think you get like 3 skill points or something like that every time you level up in Gordonek. But Gordonek's a module, right? And so you get some skill points, and then you use those to buy more skills, right? To either buy more train skills or to improve the skills and become expert at them or something. So it's really simplistic, really fun. You're gonna die, so it's like fatalistic like that, but it is super cool. It's like if you like playing horror games and especially if you're a fan of Call of Cthulhu, this is definitely a transitory game to move to if you wanted to play something else, something a little bit simpler, maybe with something that isn't set in the 1920s, that is definitely set in space on a space station or something. You could do this, and like games like Gordonek, or what is it? I think it's like the Desert Moon of Karth is one of the other ones I backed, where it's like a whole planet of jizzy madoodles, like of stuff happening. Then you can play that with this game, and you can do that with your friends and be like, what, we're gonna play some Cthulhu, but we're gonna do it on an alien planet, and you're all gonna be alien races. That's essentially what you're choosing to do with this game. So that's gonna be it for me. I'm just gonna tell you that I give this game 2 thumbs up. And clearly, I have some modules in PDF and physical format, and I backed more this time around. I give it 2 thumbs up. I haven't played it as much as I would like to play it. That's why I'm not a complete expert at it. But I have played Gordonek, for example, which is a module based on it. And I understand the rules, So I totally could play it, but I would love to play more. So if anyone's running it, I would love to play it. I could probably GM it. I have all these modules now that I've backed, so whenever I get them, I could probably run like a whole campaign of like weird stuff on weird places. But anyway, 2 thumbs up for me. Tuesday Night Games made a great game. I even got a pin from them. I can't remember if I bought it or they gave it to me, but I met them at Origins last year. I met the crew for Mothership. I don't think I met Sean directly, but I met some of the other guys. But anyway, so I give it 2 thumbs up. Check it out. It's really cheap. I think like this cost me $7 or something. Like it's super cheap to buy this RPG. The Dead Planet over there I think cost me $10 because third party whatever. And like Gordonek is only going to cost me, or it cost me $18, but it's going to be a lot thicker. He's making it a lot bigger. So it's not really an expensive game to get into if you want to play it. It's super fun. They also have like a really active Discord channel. So there's all kinds of people sharing like cool monster ideas with each other, sharing each other stories on like what they did. The game masters are supporting each other over there a lot. It's what that Discord is what I would love the Maximum Apocalypse Discord to become, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing differently, but it's pretty active community over there. All right then, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will talk to you later. And transition.